wanted to make a video on a comment from a viewer, and the comments are under the video of his hypnotized by force as a child. And I wanted to make this video because it's, probably something that people wonder, why stay where you are after going through all of that. And I mean, I'm just gonna read one of the comments that they posted. They just said, "I don't want to tell you how you should live your life. Please forgive me if this is crossing the line. I highly suggest you press the reset button and leave your area and redo your life somewhere else. You will find good people that share your beliefs and understand your pain. And there's still lots of great souls out there. I'm praying for your well-being." And, thank you for the comment. Thank you for the kind words. And part of the reason why I never left is because, one, I was just trapped for so long that I kind of decided to stand my ground where I was at then, and I didn't want to leave because I felt like that if I left, then I would be running away. And I mean, I'm pretty much alone right now. There's there's no one that I really talk like one-on-one with for like having a friend. But I don't feel that, even though being where I am right now, have I thought about leaving and moving somewhere else to another state that's far away? Yes, I have. But the way things are with the economy, and also me getting hurt, not having a job, and before this, my job didn't pay that well, so I wasn't making very much money then either. And, it's a nice comment, it's nice words. I appreciate them. But doing all of that is expensive, very expensive. And finding a job in a new area in the condition that I'm in right now is not, something that I can really do, I feel like. And as far as pressing the reset button, I mean, like, going through something like that and knowing that you've went through something like that is not something that I really feel like that I would ever forget to say. You know, one of the, I guess, rules for leaving that cult is um, the members in there are not supposed to speak to you. And that's something that I didn't really let happen with my parents. Like, I still, I've never been close with them, but when they needed me, I tried to be there for them as much as I could. And I'm not saying that, I'm happy with the relationship that I have with them, because I'm not. But at the same time, like I said before, it's just always going to be that kind of relation. It's just always going to be where they are, where their motives towards me are going to be to get me back into their religion, because that's something that they believe. And this is, how the rest of my family looks at it, because the rest of my family has completely cut off communication with me. Um, my, you know, um, I don't really do things with my parents. I don't, you know, if I see them and they need help with something, or I know that they need help with something, then yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll help them, because I'm not trying to hold a grudge over things that have happened. But at the same time, I needed, you know, I wanted to have my story out there, because maybe other survivors of that cult or other cults, maybe they see my video, maybe something similar happened to them, and maybe they don't feel alone. But as far as me having a relationship where I feel like I can openly talk to my parents, no, I don't have that. And I've never felt that I have that I've had that, because it's always felt like that I'm under the the watch of what their religion wants. And to me, that's not having a relationship with a person. That's conforming to what their religion wants. And I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to go out of my way to conform to what they want, because that's their beliefs, because that's what's been shoved down their throats all their lives. Um, and I'm not going to um, I'm not going to do something that I know will start an argument and cause further, I guess, drift. Does part of me want to just move away and, you know, do as his comment says, start a new life, and not speak to them anymore? Yes, that's something that, I've dreamed of at times, because it's really depressing when you see, or it's not depressing, it's like you see relationships that other people have with their parents, and it's just when I look at my situation, I'm like, yeah, that's not something that I see um, obtainable, because part of me always knows that they that they put themselves over what I wanted for my life, and you know, they took a lot of freedoms away from me that I could have had they just not done what they did. Um, but also there's part of me that's like, you know, they did what they did because they're under the control of a cult also. Um, because when I came out of there, a lot of my thinking and a lot of my beliefs and a lot of the things that I saw as, um, I guess, bad at one time, they're just normal everyday things to me now. Um, so I'm not justifying what they did at all. Um, I mean, but it's it's to a point where I can I'm it's not something that I would ever do, but being under the control of a cult and having your way of life dictated by someone else, to me, they lost their free will to achieve their dreams in life when they joined, and they tried to do the same with me because maybe that's just what was normal for them. Um, and talking to them at all is like, it's 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 like I'm walking through a minefield, really. Um, so having that trust damaged at, that I can't trust my parents, and seeing that someone, you know, wanting to find someone that I trust in life, I just kind of don't really have that. I mean, most people that I have met in my life are assholes and will, completely walk over your dead corpse to get what the fuck they want. Um, so, I mean, I'm sure that there are good people out there, and I'm sure that, the I'm sure that there are others like me out there that will, you know, understand. But as far as me leaving my area, I don't feel, I don't see how that would help, especially in the situation that I'm in, not having any income, and even when I do get income, having to restart all over again right here because I don't have any like income right now. I don't feel like that's I don't feel like that's gonna help me. Like, you know, if maybe in a few years, yes, or you know, maybe next year, if I get better or something, and I'm able to find a decent job that pays well, yes. I mean, that's something that I've absolutely thought about doing before. But it's just one of the reasons why I never left is because growing up around that kind of uncertainty and having that lack of trust, it's just like I just feel that wherever I go, like people are going to figure that out about me. And you know, it's not hard to tell when you meet someone that's not the same as others because of their background, I guess you could say. So I feel like that most of the people that I meet are going to see those weaknesses in me and try to exploit them for whatever they can gain from it. And I mean, it's happened to me in the past, it's happened to me in my family, it's happened to me with friends that I've had when I was in the cult. And it's just how life has been for me. Um, so I just feel like that even if I did go somewhere else, I would tend to like just stay alone and keep to myself, just like I'm doing now. I mean, I feel fine how I am now. Um, it's it used to be heartbreaking for me because I could never have I could never feel like I could have a connection to someone um, because that happened. But now it's just normal everyday life. Um, I don't see it as, you know, I just see it that that's just how my life is. And that's what growing up in an abusive environment does. It, especially when you're a child, it destroys connections that you can make with others. That's part of the reason why I said I would have taken opportunities had I not been um, in in the cult. Um, I don't see my family coming out. I don't see my family, talking to me in the future. Um, they don't they don't reach out to me. They don't say anything to me. They they expect me to go back to the cult and say that I had a wrong view on life and I guess repent for my sins. And, like I said before, even if I did that shit, like, it wouldn't be true because I'm not sorry for anything that I've done because I've done nothing wrong. And I don't feel that that way of life is for me. But would I like to leave my area and redo that's something else. I don't feel like I can redo my life. I feel like I can go and do new things in my life, but I don't feel like I can redo my life. You don't get a new mom, you don't get a new dad, you don't get a new family, you don't get a new childhood, you don't get new teenage years, and you don't get to redo school, you don't get to redo any of those things in your life. I mean, yeah, I could go to college, which I was in college, but I had to quit because I couldn't sit at the desk and study long enough because I was in too much pain. But I mean, I don't really feel like there's any redos in life. I feel like that you can go out and do new things and start new things, but I do feel like that leaving to go somewhere else is just running away and hiding, and I have nothing to like be ashamed of, and I don't feel like that I have anything to like hide from. That's how I see like going and to redo life. I I don't I don't I just see myself moving somewhere and still trying to do YouTube and maybe have a job on the side or whatever, but I don't feel like that, you know, I'm gonna get some like lucky break or something like that and, you know, be able to make like six figures. Like, I would love to find a job like that. Anyone would. Um, but I mean, I just never have had the education for it. Um, so I just really feel like then I'm just stuck where I am right now. Um, and I mean, unless someone else comes in and makes that happen because they see something that's valuable in me, that they could use for whatever purpose. Um, but me on my own, I don't see myself like leaving. And I accepted that a long time ago because I really didn't want to leave. I never wanted to stay where I am for so long. I mean, like, as far as like where I live at is beautiful. I live around nature. It's peaceful. Um, and I don't have, you know, there's like not a lot of crime around me. It's like it's like calm. And so long as I can keep myself afloat by whatever means, I'm okay where I am, I feel like. Um, and, you know, again, that's part of the reasons why I share the experiences that I had in life, from being in a cult, is that, you know, people who left may find my videos like so many other XJWs upload, their experiences and their horror stories from being, in a cult. And, people also find their videos and they find them helpful because that's how the process started of me getting out of there. So, you know, I don't find I don't find it very like realistic that another person would live with me or would tolerate me because so many things that have happened in my life where people have just, I just feel like that people have done their best to, I guess, make me ashamed and degrade me as much as they could, um, because I don't know. Either they picked up on what happened, or which I mean, it's something else. My I was always like a. I'm not gonna say always because it wasn't always, but I feel like when there were chances to belittle me as a child and as a teenager, they were definitely taken, um, by my family, and I was, I was I don't know the word for it, but I was more prone to you know, being, I guess, um, the butt of the joke, I guess, and having people, or, you know, when people picked up on that, they really tried to lash out at me for it, um, by adding to it. And I've just learned just to ignore it and just not give a fuck about it, because, I mean, people are gonna say whatever the fuck they're gonna say, and, you know, let them waste their fucking breath on it, because it doesn't matter. Um, and that's just how I view and go through life. Like, I'm not really interested in meeting people and making friends, just because my experience with friends have just been negative, honestly. Um, I'm more of a person where, if, you know, if you tell me that you're gonna do something and then you do it, cool. If you tell me that you're gonna do something and then you you try and, I want to say, I don't know, you try and get me to do it for you, I'm out. Bye. I'm not doing your fucking work for you. If you lie to me, I'm fucking out. Bye. You lied to me. Um, I have no empathy for you whatsoever. Um, just because I've just been through so much bullshit in life, and, you know, every time I've tried to feel bad about someone who, not try to feel, yeah, try to have empathy for someone who has lied to me, you know, trying to see their reasoning for it, it just always backfires, and it just always makes everything worse. I feel like I'm perfectly happy just being alone and by myself. I don't have to put up with other people's bullshit. I don't have to worry about people trying to backstab me. I don't have to worry about people trying to steal from me, which has happened, um, more than one occasion in my life. And I don't have to worry about trying to go and get those items back from them either, and dealing with more of their lies and more of their bullshit. Um, you know, I'm just here alone, and it's just that I have my animals, and I'm happy as I am. And I just feel like that if I, like I said, if I did move somewhere else, it would just be the same thing. Because I'm sure that there's good people out there. Do I feel like putting myself out there and getting damaged more to find them? No, not really. Because at the same time, they're not trying to find me either. Um, so, yeah, that's just how I look at finding good people. I mean, you know, I was raised in an environment where I was told on a weekly basis, actually more than a weekly basis, that I was around a group of good people and they were the only people that I should trust, and it turned out to be the exact opposite. And then the people that were here, you know, that the family that I had, that I was, you know, born into, did the things that they did to me. So they weren't good people either. Do I feel like that I'm going to magically come across a good person? No, I don't. Um, trust takes time and it takes energy, and I just don't really feel like that I have. Um, I just, after going through everything that I've gone through, I just don't feel like that I really have much of that left. Um, will I in the future? Maybe. But for right now, I'm just happy staying alone. And that's that's something else too, with like trying to talk to parents that are, at least my parents, um, there are some people that when I was trying to leave really didn't want me to leave and would always ask about me. And, you know, you always think that these people care, and then you want to go back, and then you get the same treatment again. So you wasted your time for someone who didn't care. They just wanted to keep you in the hell that they already knew that they were in. Um, and it's, I don't know. I know that when I did leave, and I had wrote my letter about a month later, um, my mom came to me and told me two people that I knew. One was a family friend, one was family. She suddenly said both of them have stage 4 cancer, and whether they did or not, I don't know. But I also wouldn't put it past my mom to say that to try and guilt trip me into coming back, because I may never see these people again, and if I don't go back, then I cannot talk to them, so I'll never be able to, um, you know, hear their their last words if they should pass away. Um, and just knowing the like type of manipulation that I've been through in my life, I wouldn't, it's just something that I said, well, if it happens, it happens. Like, shit, I can't fucking control that. I mean, I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but if it happens, it happens. And I just went on, and I was fine. Um, but it's just stuff like that, and knowing that they go and they, um, you know, knowing that people who you don't want in your life want to, um, control your life from their perspective of how they think your life should be, it's like very, I don't know. It kind of makes you look over your shoulder at every move you make, which I've gotten a lot better at, and I don't do as much now, but in the past, like, you know, I have, because I don't want to end up back in there. And you just hear some like horror stories of people going through like horrible shit, and um, most of it is, because their family abandoned them because of some type of cult, and they have, nowhere else to go, so they're forced to go back in there. And it's just not something that I want. It's not something that I'm going to accept, and it's not something that I'm going to do. Um, but I mean, as far as me leaving and finding people, you know, I don't really feel like that's a thing that will happen. Maybe people on the internet, yeah. And I have found a couple people on the internet that, I talk to from time to time, that also came out of a cult. Um, but I don't like make it that part of finding people like that, because I kind of want to be as far away from there as possible. Um, and it's just the same thing like for when I had joined, um, or when I started listening to podcasts for Wicca and really like researching what type of, you know, what type of religion Wicca is. And it's just like, you know, it's nothing that like I'm used to, because I'm used to people gathering in a huge building, or not a huge building, but gathering in a building and practicing the same things. And from, you know, from what I've read and from what I've been, from the people who I've talked to in Wicca, and from things that I've seen, videos that I've watched on the internet, it's just like a solitary thing, and it's just peaceful. It's peaceful, it's nice. I'm not criticized, I'm not judged, I'm not looked down upon, and those people are there if I need to talk to them about something, and it's awesome. So, from that perspective, I kind of feel like that I've found people that share the beliefs that I have, um, and that's a nice thing. And I can do that from the internet. That's why the internet is fucking awesome. Um, and I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with that kind of, you know, um, lifestyle. And I've never, I've never felt a need to like want to go out. You know, you feel like, I guess maybe in my like early 20s, like I kind of felt like that I was being, you know, left behind in some things. And I mean, let's just be realistic about it. I was. Um, but at the same time, I could not connect with people and with the community that I was in at the time, because it just wasn't for me. I didn't believe in it. I didn't believe in the things that I was being taught, and um, there was a lot of bad shit that was done to me to make me hold those beliefs, um, that I eventually broke out of. Um, and I'm very thankful that, uh, the pagan gods and goddesses were looking over me during my life and helping me along my way, and were patient with me, because I don't feel like that I would have made it this far without their guidance, because there were a lot of times in my life when, um, that, I'm not right now, but there were times in the past when, I have been suicidal and I didn't want to live. I didn't want to go on, but a lot of that was because what I believed in, I couldn't practice and I couldn't do. Um, and it was seen as, if you want to live this type of lifestyle, then your life is meaningless and you should just go and, basically die, because once you leave the Jehovah's Witness organization, you're going to be cut off from your family. And um, in a lot of like cultures, being cut off from your family does mean death. Um, not like American cultures, but in like tribes, I mean, in like tribes, if you were cut off from your family because you did something that they didn't like, then you would basically, that was your death punishment. And that's how the same way they are, and they are 100% a cult to me, and it's not something that I'm interested in. I am so fucking happy that I was able to find I was able to make a real connection with the pagan gods and goddesses and have their blessing and their guidance. But yeah, that's, I just wanted to like talk about that comment because I'm sure that a lot of people who watch my stuff are like, why doesn't this idiot just go someplace else? And it's like, yeah, I could, but it would just be the same. I feel like it would just be the same. And I mean, my parents are very old, and I do suspect that when they die, um, I'm probably not going to be able to even attend their funeral. That's how I see it because that's how fucking deep they are into that cult. Um, maybe not. But as far as I see it, I I just wouldn't I just wouldn't want to go because I know it's going to be in a Kingdom Hall, and that's just a place that I don't want to be because that's just where so many traumatic things um, have happened to me in my life, and I just don't want to be associated with any of it. Um, and yeah, that's I I just feel like that going somewhere else and redoing life is going to be, you know, it's just going to add more weight to what I already have. And what is going on right now is, you know, it's a lot and it does take a toll on me. But at the same time, it's just how my life is for now. Um, you know, I don't feel like that going out and trying to, well, I can't even go out now, but um, I don't feel like that searching for people is going to make a big difference. I feel like that it will end up causing me more stress. Um, and one of the reasons why is because in the back of my head, I'm always going to be wondering, is that cult going to try to get at me from them, or going to, or you go and you, I don't want to say you waste your time meeting new people because I don't feel like meeting new people is a waste of time, but you try to make a connection with people and just trying to trust that they say who they are and where they're from is where they're actually from is just something that I don't want to deal with right now. Um, just because, you know, in the position that I'm in right now, I just feel very vulnerable, and I feel like that um, I feel like that I make it obvious, but at the same time, I don't like letting other people in my life to begin with, and doing going out and meeting new people, and while also trying to um, avoid a cult because um, it's just it's just something that all the people that are around me want me to go back and they want me to be in there, and I'm just like, it just feels like that everyone will be like that, which they won't be, but it just feels like that everyone would be like that. And also having people pick up on that, or having friends that, if they find my channel and they would be like, hey, this guy is vulnerable to this shit, let's go fuck with him for a while. Like, I just don't feel like dealing with that bullshit. I just don't. And I 100% know that people would, because people are just, complete fucking assholes, and I just don't feel like dealing with the shit. So yeah, that's pretty much why I don't do those things. And I don't really believe that there's a reset button on life, because if there was, then whatever traumas that you had would just go away at a press of a button, and they don't, unless it's like, I don't know, heroin or something. Um, but, I've never done that, but from the looks of it, it doesn't last very long. Um, and, you know, there's another comment that they left. They, say, I'm so sorry that you ended up being mistreated this way. It's inconceivable people can be so abusive on defenseless kids. That's criminal. And they go on to say that they're very relieved that I left the cult. And I mean, yeah. But like I said, for those same reasons that they listed, and from that shit happening in my childhood, I'm just not into meeting new people. And even when I go and I message people online, or I talk to people online, I'm I just I almost have to force myself. I almost have to force myself to speak to them, because I just don't want to. I don't want to, and I feel like that is just gonna bring more bullshit later on down the line. And I feel like that people are always looking for, you know, to do shit for, like, just um, shits and giggles to them, but um, I don't mind, taking shit from people, or having people, I guess I want to say, you know, test me out. But at the same time, I just, people will fucking look for your vulnerabilities and exploit the hell out of them to get what they want from you, or to just sit there and watch you be in agonizing pain, um, you know, while they say they're sorry to your face, and talk, shit behind your back, and plan more pain for you down the road. That has been my experience with people, and that's been my experience with my family too. So those are the reasons why I don't press the metaphorical reset button on my life, and redo my life, because I don't believe that there is one, and I don't believe that you can redo your life. You can go someplace else, or you can stay where you are and try to start something new, and that's about as best as you get out of life. That's how I feel about it anyway. But I just wanted to, like, reply to this commenter through a video that has gone on for about 50 minutes now, um, because they seem like genuinely concerned, and they show up for, like, live streams and shit all the time. They're one of the few that, like, do. So yeah, I just wanted to, make a reply to them. I'm grateful for, all the commenters that I get during live streams or during videos. And I'm grateful for, the people who take the time to watch my content and leave comments and likes on my videos. I don't want my channel to be the source of like a sob story. Um, I just want to like I just want to like get out there the experiences that I have lived through, and if other people happen to find my content and they're going through something similar, then maybe they don't have to feel like they're alone, and maybe the ones who leave the cult and get shunned don't have to commit suicide as much, because that's what that shit always ends up leading to. And it's fucking sad, and I wish that you know, I wish, um, there's always the freedom of um, religion in America, but when cults exploit the freedom of religion to try and end human lives, there needs to be, there needs to be a point at it. Like I said, my family's not speaking to me right now, and I feel like that the biggest reason for that is that they are scared that if they do, um, they will, they will be destroyed in Armageddon, as they believe, and they are heavy on the belief in that shit. Um, so yeah, that's it's just fear and paranoia placed there. And I feel like that at the end of the day, people are people. Um, you know, um, no one, no one deserves to be put in a position where they feel like that um, they should end their lives for wanting to live, for wanting to leave a religion that they don't believe in the first place. Like, it's just a person being honest about who they are and wanting to live their life, wanting to live their best life. Um, and that's that's basically about it. Yeah. I was gonna say something else, but I completely forgot uh, what it was. Anyway, I'm gonna stop this video here. If someone happens to listen to it all the way through, thank you. Anyway, have a good day.